This week it's a new one for the channel as I fly low-cost carrier SalamAir aboard their Airbus A321 to test out if low cost really means low cost when travelling around the Middle East. So, what are you waiting for? Let's jump aboard and start the journey. Well, a very good morning and a warm welcome to this week's video. Warm welcome being this week's pun because it is boiling here in Doha, Qatar, about 32 degrees as we speak. So it's going to be a quick link because I need to get inside and get some aircon. But today, flying from Doha, Qatar, across to Muscat in Oman with low-cost carrier SalamAir. So without further ado, let's get inside into the aircon and get this journey started. Once inside the terminal here at Doha Hamad International Airport, SalamAir were operating check-in counters in Zone 9, and it's here where you need to head. For my flight, online check-in closed 4 hours before departure, and if you do decide to check in at the airport, you will encounter an additional fee.
So all checked in, did it through the app prior to departure, but just came here just to double check the dimensions of my case. And they sort of looked it up and down and seemed to give me a thumbs up. So I think we're on to a winner there. I thought we were a couple of centimetres over and I wasn't too sure how strict SalamAir were, but let's see if they get strict at the gate. But I've got a thumbs up from here, so going to head through to security, see if there's a lounge, and then we'll get this journey started across to Muscat. So all through security, a pretty amazing experience at Hamad International Airport. It literally took me about 2 minutes. So many lanes open, so many staff on hand to help, and that's the difference that makes the difference. So a very positive experience at Hamad International Airport. Let's go and find out if there's a lounge, and let's go and find out where SalamAir depart, because when I arrived last night in from Copenhagen, it was a 30-odd minute walk from the gate to baggage reclaim, so I don't want to leave it too late today and then end up having to run. You know me, I don't run for flights unless I'm really going to miss them. So let's take a look on the board.
As a decaffeinated boy, it's rare I do this, but believe you me, I really need it. So first things first, it's time for an espresso. Goodness me, as that coffee kicked in, I feel like a new man. And deja vu also kicking in because I'm back in the Al Maha Lounge, the South Node Lounge here at Hamad International Airport. And of course, was last here when we flew in from Bangkok on the 380 with Qatar Airways last year, and before we departed back to London Heathrow on the Boeing 777 with Qatar. So the lounge hasn't changed one bit. It's the same lounge. You know, there's been no updates or design tweaks or extra areas. So if you want a full lounge tour, go and look at the original Qatar Airways video, which I'll link at the top. But in terms of the offering, it's pretty decent, to be fair. It's in terms of space, and you know, it's very quiet and not too busy this morning. It's air conditioned and ticks all the boxes. But in terms of food, there's not a massive amount of offering at breakfast time, so you might always want to consider that if you're thinking of paying for it. But if you get it through Priority Pass or Lounge Pass or Dragon Pass or whatever pass you have in the world, or you've got a credit card that grants you access to lounges, then still pop by if you've got the time, because it's better than just sitting in the terminal. So we're from the A gates today, A for Alpha departing, and it's about 6 to 7 minutes walk from the Al Maha Lounge, so I don't need to sort of stress too much now. I can just chill, relax, grab a tiny bit of breakfast, back everything up, do a bit of work, and then we'll board that SalamAir flight over to Muscat. Now I'm really looking forward to it. Apparently it's low cost but not as you know it, so I've been told. Well, we'll soon find out. As you've seen, there's an automated coffee machine with all the usual suspects on offer alongside teas from Dilma. There's also a range of canned sodas and still and sparkling water, 2 types of cereal, there's also croissants, pain au chocolat, and chocolate and lemon muffins too. There's fresh fruit and also fresh fruit salad bowls as well, alongside a selection of Middle Eastern yogurts. There are 2 types of breads with cheese and charcuterie pots, alongside hot food options of a spicy vegetable broth, chicken sausages, omelettes, Arabic breads and brioche rolls, full madames, a popular Middle Eastern stew made from slow-cooked fava beans, and congee, a savoury thick Asian rice porridge, all with the traditional trimmings on offer as well. Finally, if you need to get some work done in the lounge like I did, the Wi-Fi weighs in at an impressive 125 megabytes per second.
So all out the Al Maha lounge, I have refuelled with just juice and coffee, and either on a sugar rush or a caffeine rush, or a combination of the two, but feeling much better considering I only had 7 or 6.5 hours sleep last night after landing in from Copenhagen. So over to gate A8, Alpha 8 for this SalamAir flight across to Muscat. Looking forward to it. I believe we're on an A321 today. So just going to go and find the gate now. A is directly in front of the Al Maha lounge, C, D and E behind me, which is where we went when we flew back to Heathrow with Qatar last year. So yeah, I'll catch up with you at the gate.
Today's aircraft, excusing Doha's silly privacy window dots, is this near 5-year-old Airbus A321neo, which was delivered to SalamAir in June of 2021.
So, made it to gate A8 and we've been told boarding should commence in the next 10 to 15 minutes, so a really smooth and easy process. Now what you do when you get to the gate is you'll give your boarding pass and your passport to the counter team. They'll scan everything. They gave me a little bag tag to put on my silver case, which is the add-on that I bought earlier. That case to put in the overheads, so that's all confirmed, and then my rucksack is supposed to go under my seat, although the gentleman said look, there should be space in the overheads for you to put it up there as well. So they seem to be very, very amenable. There was no kind of sizing machines or those metal kind of sizing contraptions where you put your case in to see if it meets the dimensions. I think it was all just done by eye, but they didn't particularly seem too bothered and too focused, and was just scanning people through at their leisure. So I would say, don't necessarily stress too much if you're a couple of centimetres out here and there. So, so all good to go. Pretty much waiting to get on board this aircraft now and fly over to Muscat in Oman with SalamAir. And it's great to have you with me. Just sat in this little sort of boarding area, boarding zone at the moment. And as soon as we get on board, I'll give you the full tour. So all aboard this SalamAir Airbus A321 across to Muscat, about an hour and 20 flight time, and I must admit my initial impressions for a low-cost airline, or certainly an airline that dubs itself as low-cost, are pretty good. There was a really efficient boarding process that was done by Rose, and it was really easy, communicated well and well managed and handled. The aircraft's only about a half full, maybe slightly under half full. The seat next to me is currently empty. The seats are leather with leather headrests. There's USB-A charging. The legroom's pretty decent, if not slightly above average. And there's some funky little, slot machine boarding music going on. It's all good. It's certainly better than a low-cost airline than I know it. So I'll settle in, give you a full seat tour, and then show you everything you get on this SalamAir flight from Doha to Muscat.
There's reading lights and personal air vents above your seat, and quite reasonable legroom too, with recline. There's a drop-down tray table, leather adjustable headrest with branded leather cover, and USB-A charging ports in your seat. There was plenty of overhead storage for your luggage as well, and literature consisted of a SalamAir café brochure and a safety card, the first one that's ever managed to make a life jacket look like a leotard. Finally, there was a manual window blind too. Now, sadly, the floor area was a little dirty. I'm assuming even Middle Eastern low-cost carriers succumb to the super speedy turnaround times.
So that is boarding complete, all done and dusted, and the seat next to me is still empty. So quite a bit of a poor man's business class going on aboard SalamAir today, and it's nice because the aircraft is probably just around 50, maybe 55% full, so pretty much everyone's got that middle seat free, and a couple of people have moved around already, so it's nice that you've got that comfort level. I'm not sure if this flight is always busy. If any of my subscribers, and this is a huge long shot, are regular SalamAir flyers, drop me a line below to let me know your experiences. But yeah, it's good. It's it's spacious, and when you get this middle seat next to you, or any seat next to you blocked, it just adds a little bit extra to that comfort. So pretty much good to go. I don't know what the sort of hold up is at the moment. The boarding complete announcement came about 5 minutes ago, and we're due to depart. We're due to take off at 11:05, which is in 10 minutes time, so they're either deeply confident of getting us away into the air very quickly, or there's going to be a small delay, but just sitting tight, and I'll give you some updates when we get them. So all up in the climb now, a beautiful takeoff, gorgeous sunny day as it always is in the Middle East. They get a lot of sun. Now, in my last piece to camera, I was talking about a possible delay because it kind of seemed very close to the wire, but no, Doors closed at 10:57, and I can evidence that because I was looking at the clock when it happened. And we were airborne pretty much bang on 11:05. Pretty short taxi, Qatari 787-9 in front of us that took off, and then we followed shortly behind it, and picked up some of the wake turbulence from it as well because it was quite a bumpy climb up. So, but yeah, just heading up out of Hamad International Airport now as we speak, and on our way firmly over to Muscat in Oman, and really looking forward to spending a bit of downtime in Oman. I've got a little bit longer there, so maybe catch up on some sleep, definitely sample some great food, and go on the date hunt. I need to bring some dates back, so I do love a good date. So yeah. The service is about to start. I believe it's a paid-for service, judging by the menu in the seat pocket area. It looks like it's a cafe-style paid-for service. I might buy something from there. If not, I'll see if SalamAir offer you anything complimentary, and I shall report back. Now, from SalamAir's cafe service, I decided to order a pot of chips Oman, the Omani date bar, and a can of diet Kinza Cola, costing a total of £3.70. Not bad value if I say so myself. So, as suspected, nothing complimentary actually aboard SalamAir. It is just the onboard cafe service, the Salam Cafe service. But I treated myself to a Kinza Cola, which is a brand of sort of beverage over here. Not just cola, they do Diet Coke, which is what I went for. There was a lemon drink, there was a citrus drink, there was an orange drink, some other brands as well. There was also Pepsi Max on the menu, but I thought, let's try the Kinza. It was okay. It sort of quite reminiscent of roller cola, which might mean some things to some of you and probably not to a lot of you, and that's what I like to say. Yeah, it wasn't a blow-away experience, but hey-ho, it was a Coke drink. I went for the Oman chips, which I didn't realise at the time of ordering were chilli flavoured, so when they came I was like, oh, not too sure they're going to be too spicy, but they weren't. They were just very savoury, very salty chilli, quite nice to be fair, and not in Pringle form, in a Pringle can, but chopped into little sticks. And then finally I went for the date bar, the Omani date bar, which was really good, very reminiscent of a fig roll. I used to have fig rolls when I was a kid and loved them, but these were great, really sweet, really tasty and full of sticky dates. Both those products made in Oman, so it only felt right to order them. I'm not too sure about where Kinza Cola comes from. It didn't have the Made in Oman label on the menu. I wonder if it's just a Middle Eastern kind of Gulf brand. If you know the origins of Kinza Cola, do let me know in the comments below. But that was the Salam Cafe service, and I'm going to go and check out the toilets. I might be the first YouTuber, I'm not too sure, to ever do a SalamAir toilet review. I don't want to steal anyone's thunder, maybe I'm not, but let's do it nonetheless. Well, this really is what I signed up for, doing toilet reviews aboard an Airbus A321 flying from Doha to Muscat, living the YouTube life. I mean, yeah, it's a toilet. It's a little bit tight, but not half as tight as that one, well, a couple actually, recently down the back on those Airbus A320s that I've been flying on, which are really tight. But yeah, pretty clean. Smells good. Smells very sort of oody, perfumey, so that's quite nice. But yeah, that's probably the first and last ever SalamAir toilet review I think I'll ever do. Hope you enjoyed it.
So I do believe in the next few minutes we're going to be starting our descent into Muscat, Oman. Looking forward to getting on the ground, looking forward to getting to the hotel. I'm just kind of chilling out, to be fair, because I'm pretty tired. This has been a whole host of travelling recently, and you know, as much as I love it, I really do absolutely live and breathe it. I could do it every single day. It does catch up on your body, so looking forward to getting a bit of downtime in Oman and soaking up the culture and the weather, of course. Now, recently I was diagnosed with a vitamin D deficiency. I've been feeling a bit rough and, you know, kind of having a lot of pains and being really quite tired, a bit more tired than I normally am. So nipped down to the GP and yeah, vitamin D deficiency, who'd have known, apparently really common. So been put on some really high dose tablets, but also instructed by the doctor to get some sun. I mean, the things these GPs tell you to do, it's tragic, but yeah, I have taken his advice and come to the hottest place I can find that's within reach. I didn't fancy flying all the way to the Caribbean, so yeah, headed to Oman for a bit of sun. So here for just over a day, and then we're onwards to a new destination with a new airline. Now I'm really looking forward to flying this particular airline, but I won't give anything away. That's next week's video, and it should be a really good journey, hopefully, fingers crossed. Of course, you can never 100% guarantee it, but it should be on the face of the booking. So yeah, we have just started our descent. I can feel ourselves slowly cascading downwards towards Muscat International Airport. I hope you've enjoyed your little look around SalamAir. It's, to be honest with you, a really impressive product. It's, you know, very comfortable, a nice easy way to hop around different areas from Doha. Let's talk the price then. So I paid £88 sterling, a little over $109 I think it was. Then there was an additional add-on which I paid for, so I paid for the seat at the time of check-in, which was $12 that equated to about £9.80 I think in sterling. And what else did I pay for? There was something else, the cabin bag. So I had my rucksack and also my cabin bag, my silver suitcase, my level 8 suitcase with me. You only get on the light fare sort of a small personal item, as you would if you were flying Ryanair, Wizz Air, EasyJet, etc. So I added that on, and that was $24 to add the case on, which I don't think is too unreasonable. Now, doing a bit of digging, if you did have to check that into the hold, it would have cost $40. So I don't think anybody can argue with SalamAir's pricing. I think it's certainly competitive, and you know, doesn't necessarily follow the low-cost model, because you'd expect that to probably be in the $60 and $70 mark for a checked bag in the hold. So $40, not too bad at all. So, as we glide into Muscat International Airport, I really hope you've enjoyed your time aboard SalamAir. Thanks ever so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Sometimes when you book a low-cost airline, it feels like a bit of a gamble. You brace yourself for compromises, manage your expectations, and hope for the best. But every now and then, that punt really pays off. SalamAir genuinely surprised me. The value for money here is exceptional. The seats are leather with proper headrests, offering far more comfort than you'd expect at this price point. Boarding was smooth, we pushed back on time and arrived exactly as scheduled, which frankly is half the battle these days. The crew were warm, friendly and efficient, creating a relaxed atmosphere on board. And then there's the pricing. The add-ons are refreshingly affordable, and even the café service is incredibly cheap, without feeling like corners are being cut. For a low-cost carrier, this feels smart, honest and well executed. Sometimes these risks don't work out, but SalamAir proved that sometimes taking a gamble is absolutely worth it. Now feels like the perfect moment to ask, if you're enjoying the adventures so far, hit subscribe, turn on notifications and come along for the ride with a growing community of fellow travellers.